Now, the central problem of economics is scarcity. But what is scarcity? The planet Earth that we live on, right? We have limited resources. And what are these limited resources? We have land. You look at Singapore. How small is Singapore? Labor. You have a limited amount of labor, capital, raw materials, and entrepreneurship. Right? These are the things that we use to actually produce goods and services. And because these are things that are scarce in nature, that means to say that we cannot produce an unlimited number of goods and services. But human nature is as such. We have unlimited wants, and yet because of these limited resources, we are unable to satisfy all of humans' wants. In other words, we have this equation: limited resources, yet unlimited wants. This equation necessarily means that there is a need to make a choice. Make a choice of what? What should we produce? How should we produce? Who should we produce for? And how to produce? These are questions that we have to answer when we're looking at economics. Now let's explore the concept of making choices from the perspective of a student. One common challenge that a student will always face is, how much time should I dedicate towards studying for my exams? And in order to make this decision, there are various dimensions to it that you have to consider. The first thing to consider are your constraints. How much time do you have to study? You have 24 hours a day. How many days are there to your examinations? And how many days from now to your examinations that you actually have time to do your revision? When you are deciding how much time to dedicate towards your revision, is how many days do you actually have for your revision, which is actually the concept of time. So time will be a constraint in this decision-making exercise. So you have to decide, in your case, what is the right optimal amount of study versus play in a single day. And say, for example, if you only have 15 hours left and you choose to study for 10 hours, that means to say effectively you only have 5 hours of sleep. Would that be enough? Would that be a trade-off that you will be able to accept? Having less sleep in order to study more. So we have to understand that every decision that we make, we will have a trade-off. And in this case, when you spend more time studying, you will have necessarily less time available for sleep. And what are the intended consequences of you spending so much effort doing your revision? When you spend so much effort doing your revision, of course, naturally you're hoping that you do better for your examinations, you do well for your examinations. And that could be potentially even one reason why you're spending time watching this video right now. But as you make this decision, with the consequences of having less sleep, you might find that on the examination day, you black out. You find that you cannot recall any of those things that you studied. That could be potentially an unintended consequence of you spending so much time studying that you neglected sleep, so your body didn't get enough rest, rendering your efforts to study to be somewhat useless.